Okay, so this plug right here, it's the clutch pedal, and on the TJ97 you have two options. You can either connect the one on the right, the plug right here. You can connect it on this so the clutch behaves normally, or you can connect it on this one, that plug. They're a little bit out of focus in the background, but here you go. And then you bypass the clutch, and then you got normal start. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna plug the clutch on the bypass, so the safety switch will be bypassed. And so whatever wiring I have going on, then hopefully we'll send a signal so I can have the starter behave normally. So right now I'm set up as it was set up. I got the voltmeter set up, and I don't get 12 volt when I pop it in. Now if I reverse this and put it in the trigger and the ground on the ground, I should get 12 volt. Yeah, now I get 12 volt. If I do the opposite, am I gonna get 12 volt? Yes, I do get 12 volt. I get 12 volt both sides. So it's just the trigger is not working. And I don't get 12 volt here. I do get 12 volt here. Right? No, I don't. So for some reason this is not grounded. The green one is not grounded, as if the whole harness is not grounded. So let's try to connect this engine to VCDS. This is VCDS release 22.3. We are July 10, 2022. I'm using the Hex V2 Dual K versus scan USB interface VCDS. There's one license used on this. There's 3 licenses, and the first one was for this engine. I did use this on my wife's Volkswagen TDI 2015, which is the exact same engine, and it did work no problem. So I know my VCDS setup is working properly. And then okay, so let's do it by the book. Going to options here, and then USB. I'm gonna do a test. Port status OK. Interface found. Type Hex V2 version CB 0.4615.4. FW 0.256. Status questionable. Testing key 1 no power, key 2 no power. Battery 0 volt. Voltage ignition 0.01 volt. VIN use 1 on 3. Okay, I'm gonna start the ECU. Accessories. You can tell I have the LED plugged in now for my alternator ignition power. And then let's do it again. Test.
Port status OK, interface found, type hex v2 version CB04615.4, FW0.256. Status questionable, can testing, key 1 no power, 0 volt. Yeah, oh sorry, I did it the wrong way. Okay, so let's redo that. I'm gonna do off. Okay, so this is off. Now I'm gonna plug the OBD port. It's plugged in. I got a flashing green light. And now I'm going to do a test. Okay, port status OK, interface found, type hex v2 version CB 0.4615.4, FW 0.256, status ready, can testing K1, OK, K2, OK, voltage battery 12.7 volt, voltage ignition 0.19 volt, VIN use 113. So that says that's okay, so I'm going to save that. Now we're going to do auto scan. I'm going to go and start. It's auto detect can only, and we're going to do start on this. Okay, start. Boom, boom. So it gives me scan auto detect function not supported by the gateway, and elapsed time 0.02. The voltage battery start and 12.7, ignition 0.2 volt. So that's what I got. And when I do it on my wife's cars, it just like goes to that whole sequence where it tests all the components, and so no response from controller. So that's what I get. So now I'm gonna pull everything out, test bench everything. Oh my god. Now I need to disconnect all. Let's fuel pump. Of course, I'm gonna snap a couple of those freaking connectors. You know, it's expected. Get all that fucking thing out. And then there's the little portion of it that goes back as well. I think I'm disconnect these guys. This goes to fucking it. Oh, crank position sensor. Am I ever gonna be able to take that out? I need to get the whole fucking rail off. Oh my god, so much fun! Oh my god. It's fucking pain in the ass. It's blowing my fucking ass. I would be able to take that out. I don't know. From with two sensors. Crank position sensor and the thermostat. So ground on pin 5. Ground on pin 5 here. 12 volt on pin 16. Have can high on pin 6. Can low on pin 14 here. Have the 12 volt there. On pin 5 on the 94 pin here. I have the ground on pin 1. That is not connected. Pardon me. I have 8792, which is the 12 volt signal. 8592. 8592. Let's go into the 12 volt and have the can high, can low on the 94 pin, pin 67, 68. And now I'm going to put ground on the ECU. See if she's going to wake up and if I can talk to her. Let me get this here. There you go. Just I think that's pretty much set up on my harness right now. And auto scan. I get exactly what I get on the car.
So there's probably more into it. Function not supported by the gateway. Gateway does not respond. Oh, it's working. So I had to choose another gateway. Actually, so I can actually talk to the ECU now, which is very good. Oh, that's exciting. So it's doing the scan, so I'm good to go. Okay, so this is interesting. When I run the test on auto detect, then I always get the same kind of failure. Function that's supported by the gateway gives me my VIN number, and I do have power reading. Now, close that. And then if I go model specific, this is a Volkswagen Jetta 7, greater than 2013. I do that, I do scan, I get the same problem. Now close, we'll scan. Now that was 7 2013. So for the 6 2009 2013, let's try that. Same kind of result. Where I do have connection is when I do Jetta 498 to 2014. When I do this, and then now I run the test, that's where it works. And it's gonna run the full test like I did before. So I don't know if that's good or not, but also said auto transmission, which this EC was supposed to be for manual transmission. So I'm gonna let that test run. I'm gonna do some troubleshooting in the BCDS software and then take it from there. So to register the VIN number, I'm not sure if the ECU needs to be plugged to the engine somehow, so it can read the VIN number, but it doesn't make any sense. Should be only the ECU, right? Fault oh, there you go. Fault found. It's all the faults.
So I'm happy with that. Looks like I'm communicating with the ECU. It's just not what I was expecting. The connection is through the Mark IV setup. Yeah, so I'm gonna reach out and see if I can find some confirmation about what I'm seeing, and then from there we're gonna move forward. I think this is very positive. So now we're at the point we just try to start the engine. So we primed the turbo, so we just crank it a bunch, and now we have oil to the turbo. So we know we have cooling there, and then next we'll be trying to prime the injectors. Everything is loose. We put some towels on top, and we'll see what we get. So in the past few weeks, I've been trying to troubleshoot the harness. I got this side figured out pretty well, though the TDI side is eluding me still. I bench tested the ECU. I know the ECU is working, or responding at least, and I get sensor inputs. So I put it back in. But then I've been troubleshooting, going back and forth with fast forward as well, and then it was decided that the harness need to be returned. Well, fast forward suggested it actually, and I'm gonna take the offer because from now on it will be just me going down the rabbit hole, and I certainly lack the qualification to troubleshoot all this, so it'll probably take me ages to figure that out, if I would be able to figure that out. So kindly fast forward offered to send back the harness, so I'm gonna take on the offer and then focus on other things on the project, so I can put this behind me hopefully, and then have someone else figure it out for me. I kind of wanted to be able to troubleshoot myself because putting the harness in and out is painful. I have two sensors behind the engine that are not accessible, which is the crank sensor and the coolant sensor. So I'm hoping if I just lift the tub, then I'll be able to access those and unplug them, and hence be able to remove the harness fairly easily. So today I'm gonna try to do this. So I'm slowly getting my way around to get the harness out. It's going slow, a little bit bumped actually. So next step will be to unmount the tub, get all the tub mount, the body mounts, and take the shifter out, make sure my fuel gusset is not catching anything. I got the crane hooked up there. You just need to well, it's actually rooted inside the tub. You just need to put Hercs on and get everything secure for lifting. Before I go on with this, I want to try one last thing, is I have the harness hooked up, ground, 12 volt, and the dash IO black wire straight to the battery to see if I can get some reading of my ECU. Actually I need to replug my ECU in, so I'm going to unplug that and plug ECU and then replug the battery, and give this one last try and see what I get before I commit into getting everything off. So sure enough, when I plug the black wire
straight on the battery, and I get reading of the harness. So I'm completely lost right now. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try to get some action in the fuel pumps, see if I can get them to run the fuel pump relays, and take it from there. So same setup as before, except that I switch my ground from the body straight to the battery and see if I have better result. And it looks like right now, looks like right now it's working fine. If I start a test, I have some breaker action. Though the glow plug stays on all the time, and then when I switch off the power, it stays on. This guy, so switching off power. And it's still on. The only way I can shut it off is by disconnecting the ground. It's weird, I'm getting a breaker. So this is with the fuel pressure sensor in. No start. Fuel pressure out. Boom. So I have everything mucked up. I've done a lot of troubleshooting in the past few weeks. Well, last week I was camping, so I didn't work on it. But yeah, it took me I think I started doing the electrical 2 months ago, or 1 month and a half. And then it was a lot of headache because I have limited understanding of electrical, but now I have a better grasp at it. Thanks to Fast Forward, actually, it was very much a plug and play. You just need to know what you're doing. Went back and forth. I'm not the quickest to reply, but they were still providing customer service, so that was good. I'm happy. I just need to plug everything in and I make all the connections permanent. I'll do a full breakdown of how I rigged up my electrical. But that was this guy was the problem. So I'm not sure if the wires are swapped. Maybe I didn't plug them properly. I might do some tests down the road, but now it's working without it. So I'm gonna do some testing and see if everything works without it and I don't have any problem, then that's it. I'm just gonna leave it unplugged. But to say I'm excited right now would be an understatement. Super happy. So now the only thing left is the fun stuff. Just plumbing everything to make it operational. And then I can finally move on with my life and focus on different projects as well. But I have a Jeep, yay.